Hey everybody, Ketwalski here, checking in with another one of our hashtag Star Trek Discovery Discussions videos. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that, well, many people have already kind of covered, and I know I'm a little late on it, but it's something that I really wanted to bring up on my channel for all of us to kind of get into the conversation to start talking about. And that is what occurred at the beginning of the Star Trek Discovery Season 2 episode, If Memory Serves. Now, before I go ahead and get into this, I will say that there's going to be a little bit of spoilers discussion, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, please don't go ahead and watch this because you will be spoiled as to what I'm going to be talking about and what happened in that episode a little bit. So go ahead and check out some other content on the channel or some other Trek-related content out on YouTube so you don't get spoiled on this. Okay, so there has been an enormous amount of speculation and theory crafting and ideas surrounding Star Trek Discovery's connection back to OG Trek and the Prime timeline. Some have worked up some larger conspiracy theories, such as Midnight's Edge, surrounding the new Canon Prime timeline stuff that relates back to the Kelvin Universe films. Others, like myself, have suggested that it's a rework of other types of timelines, possibly even through the First Contact thing that happened. I mentioned that in a few videos ago. And some people just don't really seem to care, which is fine, that's whatever, Some of us care, but ultimately, for the most part, CBS has been kind of tight-lipped about this issue overall. And beyond adding Pike and Spock as kind of main guest cast members of Season 2 and popping in the Enterprise for those brief moments, they've been really rather subtle with, their connection back to the original series. They've had hints and dabs there and stuff like that, but really, they've kind of said, well, this is its own thing. It's kind of like a reimagined, but it's for sure within the Prime timeline. But a lot of people have debated that fact up until this point. Of course, that was all kind of up in the air until this episode. The episode, just to kind of set it up for you guys that may have forgotten, we see the Discovery team, Michael Burnham and Spock, return back to the planet of Talos 4, a place that was previously visited by Pike and the Enterprise crew 50 years ago in the original series timeline. And I fully expected this episode to basically just reuse the Talosians and their whole mind control thing to fix Spock and not to really make a big deal about it and kind of get the story moving on with the Red Angel. I was not prepared for how this episode opened up, and it set the whole tone and pace for the entire episode, which was just probably the best episode Discovery to date. So before I continue talking about it, let's go ahead and play out that scene in its entirety.
A ship in trouble making a forced landing, sir.
It comes from the Talos Star Group.
Their call letters check with a survey expedition.
My name is Christopher Pike, commander of the Space Vehicle Enterprise.
Our destination is the Talos Star Group.
There's a canyon to the left. We can set you down there completely unobserved.
I think it's time to show the captain our secret.
This is Vina. Her parents are dead. She was born almost as we crashed.
This is all some sort of trap.
Are you real?
Perhaps they made me out of dreams you've forgotten.
Is there any way I can keep them from probing my mind, from using my thoughts against me?
I can't help but love you.
Let's get back to the ship.
I can't go with you.
Well, to me, that's it. I don't think that we as Trekkies can really combat what CBS is clearly trying to tell us. What they're saying here is pretty simple. This show looks different, and things may not appear to be exactly the same, but this is directly connected back to the original series and sits right within the Prime timeline, and it's just time for us to kind of accept that. I've gone kicking and screaming into this whole canon thing. I've started all the way at the end of they're ruining Star Trek to, well, it's not so bad, to now it doesn't really bother me so much because the show is just getting better and I'm not paying attention to it as much. But now that I'm over there, I know a lot of people are still all the way on the other side and being told this information by CBS and the way that they did. I know they're not reacting very well to it, but this is it. It's an interesting way for CBS to kind of go about telling and addressing this issue with Trekkies and fans of the series overall, as opposed to just doing a press release or doing a after Trek interview with Alex Kurtzman where he's sitting there just laying it out, laying the law down. They decided instead to go a visual route, right up until the point where really they're kind of mirroring, they kind of blend in the view of the two Pikes together to let people know that these are the same, this is the same man, the same Pike, same guy. And then they also utilized the same footage of the original series episode that we had, the menagerie / the cage, of Spock and Pike on the planet with the way the Telosians looked and the singing plants. And then just a few minutes later, we're back on that planet, seeing the Telosians look a little bit different and seeing the singing plants just look a little bit different. And that to me is really, that's what we're dealing with here. Things are the same in terms of continuity and canon, but they just look different. They just look different. And that's it. And that kind of sucks to some degree because it's like, what about my canon? But Star Trek has always been a bit inconsistent with certain things. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube where, you know, they go through all of the inconsistencies with Trek about beaming through shields and about Data can't get out of the little paper thing with his hand. There's countless videos of inconsistencies in Trek.
They don't place the same value on life as we do, Spock. You know that. Take my word. She did not shed one bloody tear.
Hardly conclusive, Mr. Scott, since Klingons have no tear ducts.
In the future, you should not be burdened by my dishonor.
Some of those things are canon related, and some of those things are just filming mistakes that you can kind of write off as they just made a mistake in that episode. But bottom line is every iteration of Trek has always been a little bit different, even within, you know, different seasons of the same show, especially like TNG, where things were just so different. Going from season 1, episode 1 to, you know, all the way through to the end of their run at season 7. So it is what it is. And I hate to say that, but it is. That's it. We can't make the argument anymore. We can't keep fighting them. Now, this isn't to say that in your own mind, if you don't want to consider Discovery to be full-on canon or anything like that, that's beyond the original series shows, the, you know, kind of OG Trek stuff, including the movies. If you don't want to consider that to be canon in your own mind, that's fine. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to change your mind. CBS is the owner of the IP, is saying, this is real, this is happening, this is all connected, and that's it. You don't have to accept it. You don't even have to include it into your own mind's canon of what's going on. If you want to rationalize it however you want, it's fine. But CBS is telling us, when you go, if you wanted to buy, if they sold an all-inclusive everything of Star Trek ever made, Star Trek Discovery would be included in that DVD Blu-ray box set. Period. That's it. That's where we're at now. Now, I know that the counter-argument has popped up already that I've seen specifically from the Midnight's Edge crew, not them specifically, but like their fans and like that whole group that follows them, saying that, well, there's a difference between what you can show on screen now and what you can monetize. And now I just feel like that's possibly just splitting hairs. We don't even know what it is that they're going to monetize. We have no idea what kind of manufacturing production is going to happen in regards to Pike and, TOS Pike and New Pike. That for all we know, there could be a t-shirt coming out soon that has both Pikes on the front of it, you know, juxtaposed with each other. We have no idea. We don't know. And I think that's it. I think we're done. I think it's over with. I think the fight was good. Like I said, I fought the good fight at the beginning. Now I'm at the position where I don't really care so much. What I really want is good Star Trek, and I think that's what we're starting to get. I think a lot of people are okay with that, and I think CBS really just put this issue to bed very simply and kind of just within a short period of time right at the beginning of this episode. And it was really out of nowhere. I don't think anybody expected them to do this right at the beginning of the episode. It completely floored me, blew me out of the water, even though it was something so small, but I thought it was great. I thought it was really great for them to finally just address it, as we have fans have been arguing about it for, I don't know, since Discovery's conception. You know, we've been arguing about this canon situation since day one, and now it just feels like we're done. So anyways, guys and gals, that's my thoughts on it. I think that CBS has told us pretty clear what's going on. Like I said, you don't have to include it into your headcanon if you don't want to. Nobody is forcing you to. But I am curious to hear about what all of you guys and gals think about the inclusion of the scene at the beginning. Did you like it? Did you not? And what do you think about what they've said now? Discovery is now canon, and what they're doing now may screw up some stuff on the TOS and TNG stuff, but that's it. What do you think about that? Please throw those comments down below and let me know what you think. And if you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. I would love to keep you guys around so we can keep talking about more Star Trek. I will see all of you guys and gals next time. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!